Hello everyone, I hope you are doing fine. My name is Pooja Devedi and today we are going to discuss a very important topic from the perspective of GS paper 2 and 3. You remember Manrega. We have read it so many times that it has become embedded in our memory. Rural guarantee for livelihood. A guarantee for rural livelihood. A livelihood scheme which actually weathered India through many livelihood crises, storms, but now it is going to get repealed. Instead of it, we are going to have another very important scheme, that is the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar Ajivika Mission. Now, this particular new scheme, how is it different from Manrega? What are the challenges? What are the advantages? We are going to discuss them step by step. First of all, let's talk about this very important bill which has been recently introduced in the Lok Sabha. This particular bill wants to repeal Manrega, which was launched almost 20 years back now, and it has given livelihood for so many decades, for almost 2 decades now. Now, because of the importance of the Manrega for rural livelihood, it is important to understand first Manrega and thereafter this new bill which has come to repeal it. How is it going to be different and what is the challenge, the biggest challenge? Now, we talk about Manrega Act of 2005. It used to guarantee and still does 100 days of livelihood in a year per person per household. हर हाथ को काम देना और हर हाथ को दाम देना, हर हाथ को काम देना और हर काम को दाम देना. That means that was the slogan when Manrega was launched actually. So 100 days of wage employment was given per rural household. This was done annually. Majorly it focused on, and it still does, the unskilled wages, and it was one thing that it was fully funded by the center. That means the central government used to fully fund it. States just bore the material cost, the administrative expenses, and the unemployment allowance. What is an unemployment allowance? If somebody did not get the job according to Manrega Act, because this was an act, so it was given in the act itself that if somebody doesn't receive livelihood under this scheme, they are entitled to a compensatory allowance. Okay, thereafter additional work days were allowed during droughts, if droughts were there, if any sort of calamities were there, or for tribal forest areas. Now, wages under this were to be paid within 15 days. It will differ in the new scheme as well, and compensation would be given for any sort of delays. It was demand driven based on labor budget submitted by the states. The states used to submit that this is the demand for our state and you have to bear the cost. Now, moving ahead to the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar Ajivika Mission Grameen Bill. What will it do? It will repeal the Manrega Act. It still holds power over rural livelihood, but let's talk about it. Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar Ajivika Mission Grameen. Okay, that is how we know it. VBG, Viksit Bharat Ji, Ram Ji, Rozgar Ajivika Mission Grameen Ji. This is the new bill of 2025. It will repeal Manrega. It will provide 120 days of employment, 125 days of employment. Now, the allocation for the sources is different than Manrega. Remember, in Manrega, the 100% funding had to be done by the central government. But now, under this particular scheme, the funding will be divided between between the center and the states, it is suggested that the center used to bear 2/3 of the cost for employment wage. However, 1/3 of the total of it used to go for material. All right. Now, it is also suggested that now the burden, because has been passed to the states as well. So, states will see a jump of from 10% to 40% of expense. Earlier, there was a demand-driven scheme of Manrega, but now this is the supply-driven side. Supply-driven side. That means if they will supply work, then only they will get the livelihood. Earlier, work had to be created because of the demand. This is one of the biggest criticisms of this particular bill. That earlier, based on demand, states used to say, we have this much of employment demand. Now you have to provide us some sort of supply of work. Yes. But now it is completely reversed. If there is supply of work, if the states will say, yes, we need this amount of work because we need to get this much of work done, then only you will have a budget for yourself. Now, this is the biggest criticism, because now states are also under the radar to pay. States will not be very motivated to provide a budget. Even if they provide a budget, it will be pretty schismed. So this is one of the biggest criticisms. Apart from that, this also says that payment will be done within 7 days. So payment earlier in the Manrega scheme was 15 days. Now payment will be done within 7 days. This is good because continuous flow of money will be there. Within 7 days only you are going to get your payment. Apart from that, additional work days are also there in case of calamities. Plus compensatory allowance is also there. Unemployment allowance is also there. So unemployment allowance will be there. Any sort of delay, so delay allowance will also be there. So this is a good thing. One more very important criticism of this is a 60-day pause period will be there when in agriculture sector harvesting and sowing is going on. 60 days of pause period. In high agriculture time. So the window is very small for providing livelihood, because 60 days in a year, this Rozgar Yojana will not be properly in place. So this is one of the other criticisms for this particular bill. Moving ahead, talking about this particular bill, there are certain changes. First, 125 days of wage employment per rural household annually. Additional days beyond 100 for those areas which are drought affected, tribal and forest dwelling households. Apart from that, shared funding responsibility, as I told you, between the center and the states. For example, in northeastern and Himalayan states, select union territories, 90:10. Center will be giving 90% and states will be giving 10%. Okay. Thereafter, other states which have legislature, still majority will be funded by the center and the 40% of the state. Union territories without legislature, of course, then they are going to be funded by the center itself. Shift from full central funding to shared finance accountability. As I mentioned, that states will have to increase the burden of cost sharing from 10% to now 40%, which is going to be a lot for them. Normative allocation system, center to announce state-wise annual allocation. It will depend. Some states may also see that no allocation is there. any expenditure beyond allocation, that means if center has given, for example, 100 rupees, if extra expenditure is being there, then states will bear the cost. It replaces the open-ended labor budget system. So demand driven is gone. 60-day pause period in employment during sowing and harvesting season. That means the window becomes small for employment. States will notify pauses based on agroclimatic zone, local cropping pattern. It is very flexible in nature. It doesn't, any place which is experience pause does not mean the whole of India will experience pause. So that will depend. Ensure availability of farm labor as well. Now weekly wage payment will be there instead of earlier 15 days. If there are delays, as I told you, it will still attract compensation and this will ensure worker protection. There are certain benefits. More employment, 25 days of more employment. However, there are concerns because in current days, in the current Yojana as well, the Manrega scheme, we see that barely 50 to 55 days of employment is given. So it is just one kind of dream that if somebody can get 125 days of work days. Faster income flow, because under 7 days you are in 7 days you are going to get your compensation. Beg your pardon, your wage. If not, then compensation. Fiscal discipline, because now funding is shared between the center and the states. So that is why states will be very mindful when they spend the money. Better planning will be there because predictable allocations will be given. The state governments will submit the report to the center, then allocation will be given. Agricultural support, labor availability during peak seasons. For example, during agriculture periods, we see that people, if they are working in the other schemes under the other sectors under the Manrega scheme, then agriculture sector becomes a loss-making industry. That is why to increase the productivity, a 60-day pause period is there. Reduced migration, because people move from one rural area to other urban area, which causes a regional imbalance. And hence it is important to understand that we need to create employment in the rural areas where they stay. Stronger rural livelihood, which will have improved security. But the problem is that states will have a higher burden of expenditure. This can have a huge impact on those who are fiscally weak. Fiscally means by money. It will have a reduced work window due to the 60-day agriculture pause period. Implementation is going to be complex because there is a lack of coordination. Some places may have pause, some may not have that kind of pause. There is risk of payment delays because of new administrative and technical issues. Regional disparities in the work available. Now, it may be possible that UP is creating a lot of work while Mizoram is not, because now it is supply driven. So what will happen? Now here also migration can occur. People will want to move to those areas which are giving more employment. Dependence on accurate allocation for smooth functioning. These are the challenges. What is the way forward? First way forward is we have to strengthen center-state relations. This is a federal structure right now. So in order to ensure that federalism prevails, we need better coordination. Cooperative federalism has to be strengthened. Awareness campaigns for rural workers, new entitlements. They have to be told what is the new entitlement under this bill if it gets passed, what are the compensation, how many work days are allowed, what is the pause period, everything has to be told to them. Technology should be used for tracking work and wage payment, align pauses with local agriculture calendars, ensure regular audits and monitoring, and provide financial and technical support to states for smooth transition. Now let's look at the prelims question. With reference to the normative allocation system under the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar Ajivika Mission Grameen Bill 2025, consider the following statements. The allocation is final and cannot be revised during a financial year. Expenditure beyond the allocation amount becomes the liability of the state government. The system replaces the demand-driven labor budget from framework of Manrega. You have to tell us which is the correct answer. Apart from that, the significance is very important. This bill marks a structural shift from demand-driven rural employment to planned shared responsibility model, balancing rural livelihood security with fiscal sustainability and agricultural priorities. So I hope this was an interesting topic to you. Thank you so much for watching this class, and make sure that you watch the other classes as well. Bye-bye. Take care.